Welcome GED math students. This is Mr. Von Ah, and I'm coming to you from my living room to your living room. And hey, we're going to make the most of this situation. We can't gather together and have our normal classes, but hey, we can do this online. Technology is great, right, when it works. I went out and I bought a nice whiteboard so we could do this right. So I thought that we would, we've been working on algebra for a long time. And I'm actually making some algebra videos. You can check those out on my YouTube channel. But what we're going to do in this class specifically is we're going to really focus on geometry. Geometry is the fourth and final unit in the GED textbook. And I just thought we would just get a fresh start. And plus I think this would be kind of fun. All right, so tonight we're going to be looking at Unit 4, Lesson 1. Our objective is that students will be able to calculate the perimeter and the area of triangles, rectangles, and parallelograms. So I hope you're tuning in and taking notes because this is going to be very relevant not only to the GED test but also to your life as well. All right, so let's start with perimeter. Okay, perimeter. Perimeter just simply means, well, peri, the word peri is a preposition, it's a Greek preposition, which means around, right? And meter just means the measure or measurement. So quite literally, perimeter or perimeter just simply means distance or measurement around an object. All right? So I have some objects here on the board. We're going to start with this guy right here. And let's see what are the units of the length and the width of this rectangle. All right, so we can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length here is 6. We don't have any units in this case, it's just 6 units. And what's going to be the width? Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a 6 by 6 rectangle, which makes it, we have a very special name for a rectangle that has equal sides. You know what it is? It's called a square, right? All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are square. Pretty deep, huh? All right, so let's say I wanted to find the perimeter of this square. How would I do it? Well, if someone were to ask you, hey, I want you to walk the perimeter of the building, right? If you started here, you would walk from to here, up to there, over to here, and all the way back, right? You would go all the way around the building. So one way you can do perimeter is just add up all the sides. Right, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, right? But there's a faster way. We can actually develop a formula for the perimeter of a square. And the formula for the perimeter of a square would just simply be 4, right? Because there's 4 sides and they're all equal. So I could just do 4s. That's not a 5, that's an S. An S just simply stands for side, right? So I can find the perimeter by just multiplying the sides by 4. So in this case, the sides are 6, so I just go 6 times 4, or 4 times 6, right? And I get 24, right? So if I were to count each one of these, I would get 24. But it's much faster if I multiply, right? Okay, so that's perimeter of a square. Now what happens when we get to a rectangle, right? Or maybe I should say a rectangle that's not a square. Okay, well what's the length? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all right? So my length here is 7. And my width, 1, 2, 3, is 3 units. Okay, so what would be my perimeter? Can I use this same formula? Well, the problem is that these four sides are not equal. They're not congruent. So I can't just simply say, hey, 7 times 4, and that's my perimeter, right? Because this side is not 7. Okay, so I can come up with another formula. Okay, so the perimeter of a rectangle is, well, what's the length of this side up here? You got it. It's the same as the bottom right there. So this is 7, and this would be 3 as well. So notice I have 2 3s and 2 7s. Or I have 2 lengths and 2 widths. So I could show this as the perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Let me fix that L right there. Okay? So if I were to figure out the perimeter of this rectangle, I would just simply use this equation. Perimeter equals 2. Now what's my length? My length is 7. All right? Plus 2, and my width is 3. All right, so now I can just do the arithmetic here. So 2 times 7 is 14. So I get perimeter equals 14 plus 2 times 3 is 6. So my perimeter would be 20. All right, so it takes a little bit longer, right? Because I don't have all equal sides. Okay? So you might be asking yourself right now, well, Mr. Vaughn, why do I need to find why do I need a formula? Why can't I just add up all the sides? Good question. All right. On the GED, many times they're going to give you a question that will require you to know this formula. And I'll give you an example. All right. I'll give you an example. Let's say that let's say I have a rectangle, right? And they tell you that the perimeter, what's given, is they say, hey, the perimeter is 16 inches, right? They give you the perimeter. And they say, hey, the width is, let's call it 2. The width is 2. Okay. Find the length. So in this case, they give you the width, but they don't give you the length. But they give you the perimeter. Okay. So let's say this is not really drawn to scale. I'll make it a little bit more accurate. Okay, so I know that the width is what? 2? And I know that my perimeter is 16. But what's my length? Well, thankfully, I know a little formula here, right? So I know that the perimeter is 2L plus 2W, right? Now, they gave me the perimeter is 16, so I can just simply insert that like that. Equals 2L. Now, I don't know what L is, so when I don't know what something is, I just simply leave it as a variable. Plus 2W. Now, I do know W. W is 2. So I can substitute in the W. Okay, so now I have this equation. Okay? Let's see, 16 equals 2L plus 2 times 2. So I need to multiply 2 times 2. So 2 times 2, let me bring it up here. 2 times 2 is 4, obviously. So this is going to turn into 16 equals 2L plus 4. All right? Now I need to solve for L, don't I? So in order to solve for L, I need to get rid of this 4. I don't want him there. I want L all by itself. So in order to do that, how do I get rid of a positive 4? Well, I just subtract 4. Now he's gone. But the golden rule in algebra, as you remember, was do unto one side as you do unto the other. So I have to subtract 4 to this side as well. Okay, this is going to cancel. So 16 minus 4 is 12 equals, and I just bring the 2L down. All right? Now I'm very close. I almost have L by itself, except I have that 2 there. Okay, this is 2 times L. So how do I undo multiplication? What's the inverse of multiplication? You got it. Division. So I'm going to divide by 2. But again, the golden rule, you got to do it to the other side as well. Divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I get 1L. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to bring that L over here. Oh. I'm going to bring that L right over here. And 12 divided by 2, you got it, it's 6. And that's 6 inches. All right, and we can check that. We can check L equals 6. Okay, so let's go ahead and put 6 and 6 there. Well, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16. All right? So it is important that you know these formulas, because they're usually not going to give you something very straightforward, like here's the length, here's the width, what's the perimeter. They're going to give you the perimeter and give you either the length or the width, so that they want to say, hey, do you know the formula? And this formula should be available to you while you're taking the GED. All right, one more thing. This is called a parallelogram. It just kind of looks like a slanted rectangle, really. How do we find the perimeter of a parallelogram? Well, we have here, as we have length here, we have length there, and we have the width is kind of strange because it's slanted width, right? Well, it's pretty much the exact same process as a rectangle, right? These two lengths are equal. Perimeter equals 2 times L, and the widths are completely identical as well. They have to be, because all four sides, the two lengths are parallel to each other. All right, so we have 2 widths and 2 L's, so the formula is going to be the exact same with the parallelogram. Okay? What we'll do is, on our next video, I'm going to show you how to find the area of triangles, rectangles, and parallelograms. So that will wrap up our lesson on perimeter. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you get notifications every time I submit a new video. And until then, may God richly bless you.